Welcome to As the Key Turns. My name is David Lehman, and for 23 years, I was a prison guard at the United States Penitentiary located in Marion, Illinois. Lately, I've been a resident of the country of Guyana, which is what you see now. Built a house here. Wife's family's here. Live here the majority of the time, that kind of thing. What I wanted to talk to you about today was Guyana itself. As you can see in the background, there's a lot of traffic running up and down this road. 40 years ago, when I first came here, this place might have had 2 or 3 cars a day drive up and down this road. And recently, oil has been not just discovered, but exploited. It was discovered 40 years ago. They knew about it then. It's just that nobody was able to get to it or whatever. So lately, they've been able to do that. They've been making millions and millions of dollars, and the standard of living is growing by leaps and bounds every day. I mean, from one Christmas to the next, I can see massive differences. And I figure probably in the next 5 years or so, this place is going to be like the Bronx or something. I mean, it's just going to be tightly packed. They're trying to build 40,000 new houses turnkey for people to move in the next 5 years. You know, they just recently completed 8,000 houses, and they're giving them away at fire sale prices. Land is little or nothing. The building is at cost. I think they have 260 some contractors that are vying for, you know, the ability to build houses. What that's done here, and how it affects me personally, is it's dried up all the labor. So it's very difficult for me to get labor to do the little things, you know, there's a lot of little stuff left to do on this house. Little trim things, cabinet doors, you know, just really small things, but, you know, they all add up to a full-time job for a few months out of a year. But I'm unable to find anybody to do that, so I'm kind of stuck. And the reason I'm using this little microphone here is it was suggested to me because of all this background noise that you know, you can't hear me properly. So I'm hoping that this does a much better job of that. So anyway, I'm kind of torn, I guess is how you would call it. I personally can see that Guyana's doing much better, and the people's standard of living is coming way up. I mean, they all have televisions and VCRs, televisions and the like now, where they're watching satellite TV. I mean, wow, when I first came here, I think 1 or 2 people I had met had a television, and they only got what Guyana transmitted back in those days. So they had like 1 channel. So things have considerably improved since then, and every year you're just seeing it just grow by leaps and bounds. Now, the issue that I have, ignoring that, yes, it's doing really great for people, and thank goodness, you know, and the health care is improving and all those things. On the other hand, there was an old television show called Twilight Zone that had a segment called A Stop at Willoughby, I believe. And what it was about was, it was this guy who lived this high-pressured life in the corporate world in New York, apparently, and he imagined on the way home he would fall asleep and he would dream about this stop called Willoughby, you know, and it's 1890 and the sun is shining and kids are fishing and bands are playing, and, you know, it was just a small or slowed down life, and I believe it was the conductor that said to him, here in Willoughby, you can slow down and live life full measure, you know. And he tried to go home and tell his wife that, and she was, okay, now the motorcycle's gone. And she was very dismissive and contemptuous of him, and he just couldn't take it. So eventually, I guess he jumped off the train and he was killed. And, you know, the thing at the end was the Willoughby funeral home and came and picked him up and hauled him away. So he made it to Willoughby. Well, that was kind of my thing here about Guyana, you know. I mean, in just 20 years ago, this place really was another world. It was 1890. It was kind of that place in that episode, and I really felt that way about it. It was like, wow, I can slow down and live life full measure. And maybe up to about 5 years ago, it was the same way. You know, it had been improving financially. Everybody was getting richer, and what most people were doing back then was they would send relatives overseas, and those relatives overseas would send back money to their relatives here in Guyana to improve their lifestyle. I don't know what the people in America got out of it, other than they didn't get to keep all the money that they earned. I'm not sure what the big draw for them was, other than I'm helping mom out or something. So the way things are going in this 5 years, I'm really not going to be happy in Guyana anymore, I believe. Because why wouldn't I just move to the Bronx, you know, if that's what I wanted to do? If I wanted to see the major highways and stuff, because, you know, that's just the way it's going to be. And the cost of living is shooting up. It's skyrocketing. 4 or 5 years ago, I paid about 4,000 Guyana dollars for a skilled laborer. Today, that's about $12,000, 15,000, somewhere in that vicinity. And even then, you can't get them to show up all the time, because that's the way construction workers all over the world are, but more so here in Guyana. I mean, any excuse not to show up, they don't show up. And then they do like the Americans do and cry and complain that they don't get enough money. Well, you don't show up but half the time, so how'd you expect to get full pay? That kind of thing. So I realize it's selfish of me, but I'm really not happy with the changes and the increase in the standard of living here. Like all these cars, man, there was a time where nobody owned a car. My brother-in-law had a car out of the entire family. I think my brother-in-law had one brother-in-law had one car, and eventually one got a bus, a minibus, and he drives up and down here, and they still have them. I see one right there. Number 44 is the one that's the line out here. And one of my brother-in-laws does that. But it ain't like it used to be even for him. He used to drive all over the time and all day long. But now it's mostly people going to Georgetown to get work and driving home. And it's hell to get a bus coming home. I just did that recently because everybody's working. Everybody's making money. Everybody's buying cars now. Everybody, like the people that are downstairs, one of the people that I got, and another reason not to complain, I guess, is that all these people that are renting from me all have businesses that would not have been available even 4 or 5 years ago because the standard of living was so low. Now we got makeup offices, clothing, guys selling all kinds of appliances, the big meat market. I mean, a lot of stuff going on, and I'm making double what I make from my pittance of a retirement from the federal government. I make double that from just this building right here. So yeah, everything is moving up in the world, but you know, it's kind of like Willoughby isn't 1890 anymore. Now it's 1960, and I'm a little dissatisfied with it. So selfish as it is, that's the way I feel about it. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, by all means hit the like button, and yeah, I know, tell me I'm a selfish bastard at the end there, and subscribe. I promise it won't kill you.